Hi, everybody. This is 1,133 days since Richard vanished from the barracks there at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. And we are relentless. We are relentless. I cannot tell you what breaking. There is so much breaking news today again. Um, because there's starting to be institutional support here. There's starting to be institutional support. So we're getting intel. We're getting intel. We have an alliance from within Fort Bliss, and now we're getting an alliance from the military community. Um, and, you know, so we've always had Team Find Richard Halliday, but now people that have had to deal with Leilani Hart, the Hart family, they're starting to come out. And so we're getting an alliance of people that want this to stop. And what do I mean about wanting it to stop? They want the abuse of the system to stop. They want the likes of Leilani Hart and the Hart family to uh, really be held accountable for their misuse, their absolute insanity, and the hurting of so many people, including my son. Okay, so that is it's just breaking news. So let me see if I'm on here, and I'll explain everything. I had to make notes tonight, and so definitely because I'm going to use a few notes here. Um, Definitely feel free to ask questions and let's get to the truth of this, right? Let's get to the truth. So let me make sure I'm on. I try to learn everything back and forward so I don't have to use notes. But today it's just so important. Thank you so much, Anicia. It's so important to talk about this Texas Tribune article that came out that is just jaw dropping in how it confirms what's going on in our son's case and Richard's case. So I want to remind everybody, though, that Leilani Hart is a convicted criminal. Okay? This didn't just happen overnight. Um, there are many, many different cases. And I have here, I did a marker. Remember, for harassment, I'm just going to list off 3 case numbers just for harassment. And there's more, but I'm just going to list off 3 of them so that you can check it for yourself. Okay. So the first one is 1SS 071000027. That's 4 zeros. Okay, so this is, I believe these are all 3 in Hawaii. So you'd have to go to Hawaii. Um, Case number 1SS 051001519. Okay. And then the third one is 1SS 051001342. Okay. And this is from her children for domestic abuse. This is in Hawaii. 1DA9800000015. That's 5 zeros. Okay. Then, of course, this is the case This is also Hawaii, where she was convicted. 1P19700180067. And those are important for me to list off. I know I have more here. Um, but this is very, very important because if Team Fi Richard Halliday can find these case numbers and more, because don't forget we have the CID and the FBI case numbers that are reveal her notarized criminal complaint confession affidavit. I like to stick that all in there because it's super important, because she is confessing to her own crimes in that notarized criminal complaint confession affidavit that the CID accepted, the FBI accepted. It was also notarized. Yeah, so we also have those numbers. I have not given them out publicly. It is really important for people to realize the systemic problem of this whole thing. Years of criminality, of people getting hurt, people's lives being destroyed. Okay, having to overturn their day-to-day life just because of false accusations, just because of insanity, just because of her will to do harm. Okay, her will is to do harm, is to if she doesn't get her way, if she feels like something is not right or whatever, she will destroy you by any means she can, or attempt to destroy. And in our son's case, I believed that she went after Richard. Okay, that's what I believe. At this point, from hearing everything that I've heard in the last days, I believe that she went after Richard and she would use all of her connections that she had developed over the years in the system, manipulating the system, using the system, blackmailing or whatever, however she was doing it, being up to no good, having an affair like with Tavita Nusa. How many affairs did she have? I mean, the reports are staggering, staggering, you know? So, and I don't know if they're true. I don't know. I know what Dallas Hart told me. I know what James Hart told me. And I'm just saying that when you are using the CID, when you claim and you're bragging because, the El Paso Police Department has not gotten back to this, their silence is also confirmation to me, when I'm saying, okay, I would like to know all of the complaints in the El Paso Police Department between this time and this time on the Lonnie Hart, because I'm hearing there was a complaint that she was saying and bragging that she controlled the CID. That she controlled the CID and she was having an affair with Tavita Nusa. This is confirmed that she was having an affair with Tavita Nusa, and Tavita Nusa was married to a different individual. She was married to a different individual. That in itself is a violation. Okay, it's a violation. And a very concerning violation. And I know we live in this time period where sex cults are just, like the norm, and that we have been groomed day in and day out, that we need to be part of a sex cult. We need to, that's just the cool thing. The cool thing is all of that. Anyway, but it is getting us into trouble. It is getting us into trouble. and the Army still has not agreed with it. It's still a violation. That you are having an affair is still a violation. And so, but it is more, well, just as concerning that he is a special agent in the CID at that time. He has since lost his badge, but at that time he was a special agent in the CID, and she was bragging that she was controlling the CID. Now, I'm going somewhere with all of this, so thank you so much for hanging on, because I've repeated this over and over and over again, and now we have this Texas Tribune article that is just going to connect dots for everybody. So she's a convicted criminal in Hawaii, which that is a major point of why I wanted to give everyone those case numbers, because this is a history while she is active duty. Okay. And there's a lot to this, and it's going to break. It's all going to come out, and it is a negligence on the part of the leadership. Okay, because she has a history of being a troublemaker over and over and over again. Not just a troublemaker, but out to destroy people's lives, out to destroy people's character, their reputation, to smear like they did to Richard. And you're going to hear about that in the upcoming days. Okay, you're going to hear about this her standard operating procedure to be a terrible person. Just to be she is a rotten, terrible, terrible person. Okay? She is so rotten. I don't even know if insects would like to go near it. It is just that rotten. Okay? She is a terrible, rotten person. Did I say that? I need to say that over and over again, because we're talking about children being harmed, families being harmed, mothers being harmed, fathers being harmed, siblings being harmed, neighborhoods being harmed, the whole piece of a neighborhood being harmed, the whole piece of a military installation being harmed, the whole, everything around is being rotted terrible. It's just pollution. It's just terrible. She is a terrible, terrible person. And I've reached out for a long time, but after everything that I've heard, I just want to make it very, very clear. Confession is a cure of souls. Confession is the cure of souls. In our son's case, it's very important for you to know that this person, Leilani Hart, Iolanthea, she has some other, begins, I can't even say her last name. Sorry, I'm going to practice it and I'll get on just like I did with Kacherga. I will get, whatever her name is. Okay? Whatever her name is, Leilani Hart. She is not a nice person. She's rotten. Absolutely rotten. And it is interesting that they have gone after Team Fine Richard Halliday to call us rotten, when they themselves are absolutely the epitome of rottenness and meanness and vile and vulgar. And lives have been so hurt by them that it, after what I've heard, I am being calm. That's how bad it is. To turn people's lives upside down, to turn installations upside down, to turn, your work area upside down. Because don't forget, I talked to the notary public. He also told me how terrible she is. He absolutely told me. So it's just one person after the next. One person after the next. I mean, even Dallas Hart told me. Even James Hart told me. It's very important for people to understand that it is so bad that she has a criminal record over and over again. But you know what is really bad? Is that they did not do anything about it. Matter of fact, they have protected her. They fed her. They fed the meanness. They fed the rottenness. They have fed it so that it can keep growing. And in my son's case, I hope to God that she's not part of this premeditated murder of my son. The premeditated murder and the dismemberment of my son. The premeditated retaliation that was constant and severe. His murder, his dismemberment, and the cover-up. That's how it's really important, because that makes the institution is broken, because it's not stopping the likes of Leilani Hart in the destruction of civilization, of families, of people, of communities. And she makes, anywhere she goes, she makes it a worse place. And anyone that knows me knows, especially my children, when you go somewhere, you leave it better than you found it. You leave it better than you found it. If you go somewhere, if you go over to a person's home, if you go to an event, if you go and live somewhere, you make it better than you found it. Leilani Hart is the opposite. She comes in to destroy, to bring chaos, to bring vulgarity, to bring fraud, waste, and abuse. I want to make that very, very clear. And this is not something overnight. Oh, I heard her name and then I just am talking. This is not a gossip column. This is not a gossip live stream. This is something we've been working on for years. It's been the beginning of 2022 when I first heard her name. January 2022. We are at the end of August 2023. So this is not something that I just put out there. I'm talking, we have evidence. And we have institutional support plus evidence. And so guess what comes next? Because with institutional support plus evidence, we get accountability. And I am just waiting for that day. I'm waiting for that day. So, which brings me to, I had to make that very clear where we stand when it comes to Leilani Hart on August 30th, 2023. The next thing on my note list is the Texas Tribune article, which I'm going to get some notes for that I put up. Okay, so this is a very, very important article. I posted it up on Facebook, and I put an alert out for it, a media alert. Now, if Miss Kucherga pays attention, I don't know. She should. El Paso Matters should. Please don't give them any. Matter of fact, write the FCC, write the IRS. They should not get their tax break, right? They should not, because they should be covering this. This is huge, huge news for the El Paso Fort Bliss community. Huge. And is it connected to Richard? This article connects it to Richard. This article connects it to Richard, what we have been living through for 1,133 days. And more. You know, this is the thing. It's been more days. Because don't forget, Richard's case started way before he went missing. This case started way before. And, you know, so to count my days or whatever, only the real enemies that collaborated together, that conspired together, up to no good, to do harm, to be rotten, they can tell me the actual count of the days that this has been going on. Because this has been going on way before Richard went missing. He told me, it's really bad, Mom. It's really bad. And, you know, the strength he showed to stand up to these absolutely established criminals. Established criminals, established in the CID, established in the IG, established in the JAG, established in the DES, the Chief of Security of Fort Bliss, established in Park University, established in the VA, established in the FBI. Established in the CPS, established in the CYS, established in the Fort Bliss community. These criminals are established criminals. They have made their connections. They have made their connections. And I don't know what they use against each other, if it's a sex cult, if it is part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Please, God, don't let it be that. But let me tell you, there's a connection. There is a common denominator. I don't know what they use. I don't know if it's 100% disability. I don't know if that's what it is. If it's fraud, waste, and abuse using Social Security numbers. Because we know that Leilani Hart has a real mysterious immigration situation. So we don't know if it's these pseudonyms, if it is stealing people's identity and using it for financial gain or for whatever purpose it is. But we do know this. It is established criminals that are doing all of this. And don't forget, we still maintain that Dallas Hart is Richard's, platoon leader. We still maintain that. Because where is the orders? Where is his orders? Where is the platoon leader? And, you know, she has a history. If, Well, I'll talk about that in future when I can tell you more. When I can tell you more. But I'm just telling you that this Texas Tribune article connects what we have been going through in Richard's case with a bigger picture, a bigger criminality, established criminality. You could call it a criminal syndicate. But these are established, taking advantage of our system, taking advantage of our agencies, taking advantage of our institutions for financial gain, for power, for their sex cults, for whatever. I don't know. I don't know. But they have to do harm, to be up to no good. That's very clear. So, what does this article, if you have not read this article, get yourself a cup of coffee, sit in a nice, comfortable chair, get some good lighting, make sure you have your reading glasses, quiet spot, turn everything off, and go through this article. Because all I'm going to do is highlight a little bit. And then it is so I'd like your opinion. I would like your opinion on this article. And then we might even want to write this reporter. We might want to write this reporter. But what it does is it confirms that law enforcement is working outside of the law. Absolutely. Our law enforcement is compromised. The law enforcement files are compromised. We know that, don't we? We know that. We know that the files are compromised. We've been saying it we said it officially on November 9th, 2020, to 15 plus agencies, including Lieutenant General Sean Bernabe, his SJAs, and Lieutenant General Donna Martin, at that time in charge of the CID. Now she's in charge of IG. We said it then that the investigation at that time was botched, that there were leaks, that there was a problem, a compromise in the law enforcement. We said it at that time. November 9th, 2020, in that meeting with 15 plus. But of course, that meeting was not official, right? There was no op board. I mean, we had 3 FBI agents there, sitting there. We said it to them. DES, we said it to them then. How many people do we have to say something to? How many times does it need to be said to? This is fraud, waste, and abuse of trillions of dollars that we pay these generals, these 44 four-star generals, these flag generals, flag generals, flag leaders, whatever you want to call them. They're bloodsuckers. They're not defending our Constitution. They're not doing their duty. They are not doing their duty. Our son is missing. They're more concerned with cover up and leaking files, which means they're leaking intelligence. They're leaking our intelligence, y'all. And we know that. We know that that day, and since then we know even more, right? Um The Texas National Guard's WhatsApp intelligence operation highlights breaches in the integrity of law enforcement files. That's compromised FBI intelligence, underscoring the balance between surveillance techniques and investigations. So what is that saying? That's saying that how can we have investigations when we have compromised law enforcement? It's everything's botched. That's why everything is botched. How do we know that? Number two, leaked files and case connections. So this is where it really, I'll get into how absolutely it's connected with Richard's case. Recent developments in Halliday's case point to the severe security breaches on Fort Bliss and suspicious activities at the Tactical Move storage unit, and the multiple revelations that Halliday's file was leaked. Multiple revelations that Halliday's file was leaked is unacceptable. Unauthorized access to sensitive information. And it wasn't just Richard's file that was being leaked, it was my husband's file also. And praise God that his file is glorious. Is glorious. Is honorable. Is nothing but full of integrity. Thank God. And I was speaking with someone today that was a victim of Lilani Hart, and the point being was, I survived it because I have a good character. I have a good character, and I'm well known for my good character. And does she like to go after people with good character? That sounds like a demon to me, right? That sounds like a demon. That sounds like, Satan's workman. Um, to go after people with a good character and make their lives hell, to try to destroy their lives. So, leaked files. Well, we know about the leaked files because, and the FBI files leaked because of Nadal Baim. Nadal Baim, he announced to a civilian that he was connected to the FBI. Now, he did not show a badge to prove that he was an agent. How is he connected to the FBI? And he used that. He used that. I am FBI. Take down the flyers of Richard Halliday. Okay? So he used that label, that authority, to give an order in the Dollar General store. Okay? Somehow, some way, he had access to files because he said that he was FBI and that he knew lots of different things. They were looking for Richard, and Richard had gotten in trouble and this and that. It was like he was leaking out himself, giving a civilian intelligence. FBI intelligence. FBI file of a missing soldier, leaking out the file of a missing soldier. to an employee of Dollar General. Now, there has been this, talk that he was not FBI. Okay, but he was the father-in-law of Lieutenant Colonel Bugado in the G3, Bradford Bugado in the G3 of the 32nd ATCOM at that time. That's what he is. That's who he is. So, did Lieutenant Colonel Bradford Bugado get the file? Had access to the file? Well, it's G3. It's G3. It's operations. And did that leak stream down to Nadal Baim? We know that there's leaks. And then that happened on October 26, 2020. October 26, 2020, the FBI took over Richard's case. This is what Intel is telling us. October 26, 2020, when we handed in all of that evidence, the institutional support came in as the FBI. The FBI took over the case because of the evidence. And we're going to have accountability. But the FBI took over the 26. Now, are they up to good? I don't think so, because we already would have accountability now if they were up to doing good and defending our Constitution and defending our most valuable assets, meaning our volunteer sons and daughters, and making our military strong, our country strong, our intelligence agencies strong. If they were doing that, we would already have accountability. We would already know where Richard is, and the perpetrators would be punished. We would already know that. That would already happen. Okay? Because listen to the language of this article. They're using WhatsApp intelligence to locate people. They're, the narrative that they were looking for Richard and they can't find him is so bogus, is so botched, is so, they must think we're really stupid. Because they have all of the means to find Richard in so many different ways. And in this way, they have it with the WhatsApp intelligence. I bet you they have it with Snapchat intelligence. I bet you they have it with Facebook intelligence. I bet you they have it with Google intelligence. I bet you they have it with their phone service intelligence. I bet you they have it with, come on, let's list it all out there. They have it with one-star GPS data that the 2004 white Pontiac Montana had in it. So this white Pontiac Montana has a OnStar GPS tracker data that the intelligence agency could find. And, I would be like arguing with Marlon Soto, but you see, Marlon Soto leaked. He leaked. He was a leaker. Nadal Baim got the leak. We were in that meeting November 9th saying there's leaks, and he was sitting right beside the FBI, and the FBI allowed him to police himself. Oh, I'll take care of that. The CID senior officer was allowed to police his own office when it came to intelligence leaks in the case of a missing soldier. I mean, that is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. But we have more, because January of 2022, the officer of the court made his complaints to the CID, to the FBI, to the command, and on and on. I mean, to so many of our institutions to say there that Richard Halliday's case, his file, has been leaked to Leilani Hart, whatever her name is, and to Tavita Nusa. And there was more. But that was for this article. It's very important for everyone to know that these leaks have been going on. And I know by talking to James Hart, he said that CID Marlon Soto called him to say he was clear. He's telling me that he's getting leaks from the CID, because the CID doesn't just call you and say, oh yeah, hey buddy, you're clear. I mean, that's my opinion in that respect, but I think that's very clear. And then don't forget Corinne Adeline West. Corinne Adeline West, whew, that was something. No wonder she only went by the pseudonym or cut her name off, Corinne Adeline, because look, she had leaks. She had information. She had information before we had it. And these vile and vulgar harassments, they have information. Of course, when I traced back the burner phones that they were using, it went to government places, or attached to it, like Stanford University, who was, now we know through Congress, was manipulating our online communication, right? What about the White House? So do they have a certain number or whatever? What about NATO? Is ADA connected with South Korea? You betcha. They're very, very big in South Korea. Of course, NATO is Europe. Are they connected with NATO? Of course they are. Copenhagen? Is that the FBI? Of course, that's FBI. The embassy there. Yeah, it is just, it confirms that the law enforcement is working outside of the law, that the integrity of law enforcement files are compromised. We know that. And it confirms that special operations exist that are outside of the law, that they're using special operations. I've been saying it, asymmetric warfare tactics. I've been saying military operations, that these are special operations. And in our son's case, absolutely. I've been saying it for months and months. And look, I'm a patriot. I have been celebrating and rooting the Army on my whole life. This is not a vendetta against the Army. This is a call for what in the world has happened. Who has put in these generals and admirals? Who has put them in that they are bringing down our military? That they are hurting our service members from within? That there's a Trojan horse, and it's from this high level, and it includes the law enforcement. I mean, look at the way they had groomed Anthony Swafford. Look at how he responded to a missing soldier. Look at how Soto has responded. Look at how Tavita Nusa responded. I mean, look at how the FBI will pay lots of money for the billboards for something, okay, A little bit important. Before a missing soldier, silence, not a dime. But is that true? We're waiting for the results because the time is up. We have to respond to that now. Um, the results of the monies that they spent, that Governor Abbott sent to El Paso to spend on what? Richard's case, the Patrick Crucius case. You know, what's what? We want to know because something is off. There's definitely special operations being used and has put us in danger. It has put not just, and I'm not talking about just my family, I'm not talking about just me. We've taken measures to, because you have to record everything, right? And have self defense around, and oh my goodness. But you know what? They have put everybody in danger. Everybody. Because includes um, people coming over. They call them migrants, they call them illegals, whatever. Whatever. It puts them all in danger. There is definitely a confirmed shadow government working outside the law. And and that it has absolutely been part of Richard's case. Now, how is this really connected to Richard's case? That should be enough, right? But no, it gets even better because one of the intelligence officers, okay, so that's like FBI, CID, is Chief Warrant Officer, so that's CID, Chief Warrant Officer 2, so CW2, Eric Hack, led the El Paso team that allegedly shared classified FBI intelligence. And of course, they always have to put allegedly, because you are innocent until proven guilty, right? Um, unless you're a whistleblower. Unless you're a whistleblower, then you are, a target, a full out target. They can do whatever they want to you. Everyone can, they can smear you. They can retaliate against you. They cannot even have a packet. They cannot even give you a chance to respond. They can even not even notify you. Not even notify family. You are fair game. Fair game if you are a whistleblower. So, which is also really concerning. And yeah, I'm a little bit hyper because this chief warrant officer too, CW2, Eric Hack. What goes through my mind as the mother of Richard Halliday, the intern in the CID from Park University on Fort Bliss? What goes through my mind? Richard Halliday sitting in the criminology class taught by Thomas Kane, the DES, the chief the chief officer, the chief security officer for Fort Bliss. What goes through my mind at 1,133 days when the intelligence that I'm getting is forced disappearance and premeditated murder? That evidence, the evidence, the what do you call that? Circumstantial evidence is pointing to that. Not just pointing with little arrows, pointing with mega arrows. Boom, 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 boom. The arrows. Premeditated murder. of my son. And do I need a body? The law tells me I don't need a body. The law tells me I don't need a body. I need circumstantial evidence, and my circumstantial evidence, the arrows are big, big, huge. I bet you a GPS WhatsApp data would give me information. I want that. I want that OnStar GPS data from the van. I want the data from Richard's phone. I want the information that the intelligence community has that absolutely points to what happened to Richard. And they leak it out. They leak it out. They leak out all that intelligence instead of doing their duty and securing the investigation into my son. And so then you have this big criminal cabal, you know, and they don't think that the information's going to leak out, and it has. It has. But I want it official. I want to know what happened to my son. And I want the institution to do their job. Is that too much to ask? And I want them to protect us from these very vile, vulgar, rotten, downright rotten people. That all they want to do is cause chaos and strife and bog our institutions that cost the taxpayers a lot of money. And then they want to suck our institutions so that they can get their checks, that they can get their I worked hard, I own, and while they worked hard ruining our society, they worked hard ruining families. They worked hard to ruin Richard. And yes, I'm a little bit because this kind of stuff, let me tell you, I am convinced that CW2 Eric Hack knew Richard. I am absolutely convinced that Richard's file was leaked. We've got an officer of the court that says it was leaked. We have information from people, including Nadal Baim, including Corinne Adeline West, including Hema Socho, including many others through the vile and vulgar phone calls that prove that Richard's file was leaked, and also that they had access to other people's files. And remember when this happened, I said Richard's file was leaked, and they were like, oh no, not just Richard's file. It was a whole bunch of files. And I'm like, okay, it was a whole bunch of files. That makes it worse. It's kind of like the gun situation. It wasn't just Richard's barracks that was flush with weapons. It was all the barracks on Fort Bliss. I can't believe when Soto told me that. That was Agent Soto that told me that, to make it seem like it was okay that Richard's barrack was flush with weapons, and they're bringing in young party girls, and it's a marketplace full of drugs, and alcohol is being abused, and they have all kinds of violence. They have a botched sexual harassment program, a botched a suicide program, and they think it's okay. And then they have these sex cults. And they think it's okay to bring in a 14-year-old girl to live in the barracks and to prostitute her out all night every night. Oh, it's cool. It's cool. No, it's not cool. It's evil. It's harmful. It's destructive. It's inhumane. So what does this say? I have to read this here. Um, an investigation by Military Times and the Texas Tribune has found that Texas National Guard leaders disbanded Operation Lone Star's intelligence wing after whistleblowers reported that WhatsApp surveillance, which targeted migrant groups to track them through Mexico, because they believed it violated longstanding rules against state run spy operations. During the same period, another team from the Intelligence Directorate allegedly sent classified FBI intelligence to their Texas Guard colleagues in an apparent violation of federal secrecy laws, according to an internal incident report. Wow, there was actually an internal incident report. Where is Richard's internal incident report? Where are the internal affairs investigation in this whole thing? Because everything is botched. And you've got a very evil person, a very nasty person, a vile and vulgar person controlling the JAG and obstructing justice, a convicted criminal person having power over Miss Kucherga with Media Matters, feeding false information, taking that little report, going over to JAG, and controlling JAG to obstruct justice in the Richard Halliday case by banning a key witness that happens to be an officer of the court, flagging him, putting extra security, whatever, so that he can't get to the bottom of what happened to Richard Halliday. I mean, talk about evil. Talk about skewed. Talk about upside down justice. This is injustice that is just twisted. I never even thought that injustice could be that twisted, but it is. It's so twisted. And where is Miss Kucherga? Where is Bob Moore? Where are they from El Paso Matters? Does El Paso matter to them? No. No. They don't care. They want criminals to be roaming the streets, destroying families, destroying the community. Where are they? And, this is why we're asking everyone to write Major General Eisenhower. Where is he? Does Fort Bliss matter to him? Do the service members matter to him? Does he want to have a vibrant and law-abiding intelligence force on Fort Bliss to protect the Constitution, the land, and the people, and by doing that, protect our most valuable assets until a time comes when we need them trained and ready to go as unbelievable, non-stoppable war fighters? All of this narration and all of that, it's all lip service because they're destroying our soldiers mentally and with health. We have another, and I didn't want to forget to mention this. We have another questionable death over at Fort Hood, Cavazos. And the family's saying, no, this is not a suicide. So take a look at that. But this Chief Warrant Officer 2, Eric Hack, leaking FBI intelligence, when remember, October 26th, we gave the FBI all that information from Nadal Baim. It was big because at that time nobody knew his name. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody knew that he was the father-in-law of Lieutenant Colonel Bradford Bugado in the G3 of the 32nd ADCOM Richards G3, Richards Command Operations. They didn't know that. It was a mystery. It was intelligence. They knew it. We didn't know it. And it was getting leaked. Thank you so much, Anicia. Thank you so much, Grace. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Danielle. I do see you, and I know I'm um, a little bit hyper after reading this, learning this. I mean, it's been a busy day because of talking to people, learning about the criminality of Leilani Hart and the lack of accountability that let her continue. And this is not a defense of Dallas Hart. This is not a defense of James Hart because they let it happen too, even though they put a case against her also. But I remember the first time I had contact with Dallas Hart through email. He's like, I don't know anything about this. Y'all, absolutely he knew about Richard. Absolutely. And, that raises a lot of red flags. So I'm not letting them off the hook. And I'm not letting that affidavit, that notarized, vile, vulgar, criminal complaint, confession affidavit off the hook either. Something is not right. And something was so rotten in Richard's eyes that he made complaints. We're getting the intel that he made complaints at Park University, that he made complaints at CID, that he made complaints at CPS. He was trying. But because they're all botched, because they are all compromised, because they are up to no good, because they are established criminals using us, using our system badly. He had no ideas. I wouldn't know. I want to say so young, but I don't think I would have known. Would you have known? I don't think we would have known how bad this was. But now we're getting there. We're getting there. Hold on to your seats because Chief Warrant Officer 2, Eric Hack, the El Paso team that allegedly shared classified FBI intelligence right there in El Paso. It's a big deal. And so this is, why there was lawlessness, why they were working outside of the law, why we have confirmation now that, well, we have it. We have it. Evidence that Richard's file was leaked and compromised, and that the investigation is botched, and that there are special operations. You can call them the shadow government. What other names do you have for this underground government that we have? We know that these special, asymmetric warfare tactics, military operations, special operations, shadow government, what do you want to call it? They're using taxpayers' money to be weaponized against who they want, including us. And don't tell me that they have no way, when they have OnStar GPS data from 2004, right? From 2004, I'm sure it's been perfected. And they have WhatsApp, they have Google, they have Facebook, they have Instagram, they have the TikTok, whatever, the Snapchat, whatever. So we need Major General Eisenhower to stop it and give us justice. Let us have our due process. Lift the ban, admit that they were wrong in the JAG, hold them accountable for what they did to retaliate, to let Leilani Hart do her miserable work and retaliate against a an officer of the court, a key witness in Richard Halliday's case, to let her retaliate through the media door, right? Through the JAG door. Uh, Major General Eisenhower, you need to stop this. No packet? No investigation? Just allow a someone that is deranged? I'm sorry. After everything I've heard, I'm being polite. And it's not just what I hear. It's all of these court cases, y'all, that's documented. This is not a gossip. This is documented court cases and witnesses speaking. It's the ghosts of her past. It's the ghosts of her past that are written down. And they're coming back to haunt her. All of the evil deeds that she has done. These testimonies and court cases, that's what I'm meaning when I'm saying things that I have heard, things that I'm reading, things that I'm learning, that are documented officially, and other things. Okay, I think that's pretty much for there's so much. But I think that is enough to, well, I should say, let's not forget. See, all of this is huge. But let's not forget that we have a petition to support this very brave soldier. And let me tell you, names are going to be added to that. Okay? Because we need a lot of prayer. This is institutionalized criminality, right? This is established criminals. And this soldier that I haven't released his name, they know his name because they leak. But this soldier who is active duty Fort Bliss, he needs everybody's support. Everyone can get behind this. Everyone can support the safety of a whistleblower, of someone that is asking because the chain of command is not responding, asking for a congressional inquiry. Everybody can sign that petition. We've had, I don't know, over 800 people look at it. Sign it. Sign it. And don't just stop there. Have other people sign it. Have other people explain what is at stake here. Give them this Texas Tribune article that is stunning in showing that our intelligence agencies are have been compromised and are sharing intelligence with whoever to Tavita Nusa. Tavita Nusa should not have gotten the information to Nadal Baim, to Hema Sochil, who is the wife of Richard's first sergeant at the time, to Corinne Adeline West, who is she, and many more. And many more. And so we need to support this soldier. It is so, so important. I'm pleading with everybody to support, to sign that petition. It's something that we could all get behind. Let's support the safety of this soldier's right to use the system appropriately that we pay $1 trillion for, to ask for a congressional inquiry. And then write Veronica Escobar, because this is an active duty soldier, so it holds a lot more weight. It is something she has the duty to respond to, an active duty soldier asking for a congressional inquiry. Okay? She has that duty. So it's much different than just a civilian asking for a congressional inquiry. This is an active duty soldier. And so that protection is needed, and we need to ask for Veronica Escobar to give the soldier, this brave soldier, institutional support. Okay, we need, because he has the evidence. Otherwise, he would not be putting in the inquiry. We need to ask her to give him her institutional support. It is her duty to do that. And then also to write Senator Ted Cruz to also give his institutional support to this soldier. Very important. For the sake of everybody's safety. Everyone's safety on Fort Bliss and the El Paso community, and even over into Juarez, because you see what's going on, this border thing. Okay. So, yeah, that is, I wanted to mention that before I left, is really, really important. And please, if you can get 1 or 2 signatures every day, or, maybe, I don't know, some people are so good at getting that support for our service members. And this is, if you've wondered how you can help, this is how you can help, because him having support with every signature, his safety increases, and the chances for Veronica Escobar to do her duty, to have that congressional inquiry, to get to the truth. And we want the truth. We want to make sure that our military installations are working according to standard operating procedures, to the UCMJ, that they are not institutionalized crime zones, that they are not established criminal syndicates. We don't want that for our military installations. Our taxpayer money is not paying to develop installations for criminal syndicates where they can just steal identities, use social security numbers, use tactical move storage units to abuse the equipment, sell the equipment, smuggle the equipment, bring it in to be a brothel, bring it in to be a marketplace for illegal drugs, use our weapons badly. I mean, look, use our university. We're supporting this university. Park University, and they can't even respond to the family of a missing soldier? They can't even respond. And where's CPS and all this? And CYS? Where are they? Yeah. Okay. And the list goes on and on. And I just want to say thank you, everyone, for sticking with this so long, all the time. And God bless you. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing.